Hi family, welcome to my channel. My name is Melingomane and it's still the month of love. So by now you know, let's talk about love. Yes. Thank you so much for coming back to the channel for a new video. And for our new family members, welcome. Please stay, don't leave. Right. We'll be talking about love for the entire month. For the rest of the February, we'll be talking about love. As much as I don't celebrate Valentine's, I know this is the month of love. I realize that this is the perfect time to talk about love. Today we'll be talking about my life. Again, as always, let's talk about the downside, the danger of dating late. Backup story for those who don't know. I got saved at a very young age. I was 12. From that day forward, I was just that girl on fire for Jesus. Umjolo is a sin. I do not touch the hand of my brother, right? And no one forced me. It was just me. I spoke about this in one of the videos that even if no one told me that Azliwa sono, I was just not interested. I was not interested in what my peers were doing, the dating, the boyfriending, I was just not interested. So fast forward, I go through my high school, my varsity, still without a boyfriend, still not dating and whatnot. And then I only started dating at the age of 24. And by the age of 24, you're already grown, right? I finished my first degree at the age of 20. So I was already grown, I was already independent. I had started working, I had just finished my master's, and basically. And that's when I had my first boyfriend. And family, disaster. Remember, I went on a date with this one guy, and I told him I had not dated anyone before in my life. And he was like, it's gonna be hard, it's gonna be tough, right? And I didn't realize what he was talking about. But when I was in a relation, when I eventually got into a relationship, I realized what that guy meant. Because I was difficult to deal or work with. I was very difficult to work with. And I take accountability for all my lackings in my previous relationship before I met my husband. Thank God I met my husband, but still I take accountability for my lackings. The desire to get married was not really there. I'm one person who's never had the desire to get married. I realized it was a blessing. I realized it could be a blessing, but it was not on my own. You know, when you pray, it was not up there. But it happened that around the age of 23, I actively went on dates. I was like, okay, fine, it wouldn't hurt. I went on dates because before that I did not even want to entertain the thought. And I noticed that at that age, with whatever was going on in my life, I attracted the same kind of people. Cry with me, my beloved, because I attracted the same kind of people. Older than me, like way older than me. Pastors who talk the same way, who do things the same way, who are just the same, right? And I was like, God, why are you doing this to me? Because you can't even choose, because these people are literally the same people in different bodies. I gave this one guy a chance, a pastor, conservative, very conservative, reserved. They had lived way longer than I had, so they knew what they wanted. They knew what marriage looked like, how a relationship should look like. And then I come overly independent. I had not dated in my life, so I did not know how to do life with a person or with a partner. I did not know how to open up to a person. I did not know how to open up to a person, how to be vulnerable, how to need a person. And I made a mess of things. I just did not know how to let someone in. I had built a life alone and it was so hard for me to open up to anyone. I was so self-sufficient. I did not know how to be relational, which is a mistake we commonly make in our singleness. I don't know if I should call it a mistake, but which is something we do in our singleness, right? Focusing on the now and not preparing for when the time comes for you to get married or get a partner. Honestly, I wasn't preparing myself. It was just me, and I did not realize I was building walls and just closing myself in. I gave the guy a hard time. I wouldn't communicate well because I'm just a jump and do person. Yeah, I gave him a hard time. And then that was a disaster. It ended. It wasn't a huge disaster. It wasn't tsunami disaster. It wasn't a huge disaster. We just had our differences and we couldn't see eye to eye. And at that time, it was difficult for me to see or take accountability that I am playing a role in us not seeing eye to eye. And then that ended. And then fast forward to my relationship with my now husband, I did the same thing, but praise be to God, we got married. Let me assure you before we move, God makes all things work together for good, for those who love Him and are called by His purpose. I have no doubt that this was God's idea, moving me out of the country while we dated. And then when I come back, we got married, because I know if I was here and we were together, I would have made a mess of this relationship as well. But because I was away, I did not feel like I needed him, which was my problem, needing someone and opening up to him. I did not feel like I was needing him because I was out there doing my own thing and he was here doing his own thing. We'd just check on each other there and there. And then immediately I come back, we got married, and that was God's idea. And then marriage knocked sense into my head. Pause. It's not advisable though to jump inside hoping you'll fix or sort your issues inside. But I'm just saying this was the case for me and I praise God for that. Before that, we had premarital counseling. And I realized this is a problem. I'm the problem. I can't open up. I cannot compromise. I cannot be vulnerable to someone. I want things to be done my way and at my own time. On the previous video, we spoke about me having to teach myself to create wife boundaries because I had just been taking decisions all by myself for a long time. I did not know how to partner with someone. And I had to tell my husband about it. I had to tell him that I had to tell him I struggle with this and this. It did help, but this meant I had a lot of catching up to do emotionally and in making our partnership work than any other wife would. Then this one time we were invited by our friends, a married couple, and while talking to my friend, the wife, she says she thanks God she got married at a young age. She got married very young, I think at 23 or something. And I realized, wow, right? So she got married very young, and she said she thanks God every day that she got married young. It was easy for her to let someone in. And I just realized how we take for granted how closed in we get the more we build a life alone. It's not easy opening up to someone after that. And so if you're in your late 20s and up, navigating singleness, dating, give grace to yourself. Take accountability, yes, but give grace to yourself. It's not easy. And I'm not saying dating young is better or just jump into relationships in your earlier years or whenever. But I'm just saying, while in your season of waiting, prepare yourself. It's not necessarily about waiting. It's about what you do in that season of waiting. And for those who are in relationships as well, it's not also about just being in a relationship for the fun of it. It's about what you do in that relationship that prepares you to build a life with someone or your marriage. I look back and I see that my season of singleness should have been more than just what I made it about. It should also have involved relational maturity, emotional maturity. And I am saying this so that if you're single and you're watching, you'd look into your life and be honest. Because it gets to a point where, especially for Christian ladies, it gets to a point where we call walls, building up walls as standards, or emotional distance as strength or holiness. No, call it what it is. You have built walls and people struggle to relate with you. It's not strength. You're emotionally distant. You cannot open up to anyone. You're not vulnerable to a point where you're not even honest with yourself. This was the downside of dating late. I'm not saying it was completely wrong. It worked for me. It saved me from a lot of things. But now I look back and I say I could have done better. There are certain things in my singleness that I could have done better. And my prayer is that you do better, you prepare yourself better. We need beautiful marriages. We need beautiful godly marriages. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. And I hope this video really helps somebody. I really hope it helps somebody. And I will see you on the next one. Our final Let's Talk About Love. Don't forget to like, comment, share, subscribe, and let me know what you think. It's all love. Take me.